I would like to start what in your book you have written. We don't want to get into conflict, but we want to respect others. We don't want to believe in westernization, but yes, modernization. That kind of thought has been put up in that book. So should I start with my respect for my Hindi bhasha and for my Rashtra bhasha? So as I start as a politician, मंच पर आस्तनस्त राजीव मल्होत्रा जी, जिनके अभिवाणी से हम सब मंत्रमुग्ध हो गए हैं, वो डॉक्टर स्वामी जी, जो नॉन करप्ट भाजपा की हमारी नेता है शाइना जी, जिन्होंने नेहरू जी के बारे में हमें बहुत अच्छी एक सूची दी, लेकिन उन्होंने ये भी कहा कि ये मैं कहना चाहता हूं लेकिन हो नहीं पाया। तभी मैंने डॉक्टर स्वामी को कहा कि आज से मेरा डॉक्टर स्वामी जी से कहा कि देवेगौड़ा जी के लिए मेरा रिस्पेक्ट और बढ़ गया है, आदर भाव और बढ़ गया है कि नेहरू जी के बारे में हम इतना सोच सकते हैं। तो आई ऑलवेज फील गांधी फैमिली, आई एम नॉट अगेंस्ट एनी फैमिली, द डायनेस्टी यस, बट गांधी परिवार से तो देवेगौड़ा बहुत अच्छे प्रधानमंत्री हो पाए। इस प्रकार की परिस्थिति अपने देश के सामने हुई थी। तो गणेश जी, आपने मुझे बुलाया। फ्रेंड्स ऑफ बीजेपी भाजपा के हैं लेकिन हमारे दोस्त हैं, जो भाजपा की विचारधारा से हमसे जुड़ना चाहते हैं, हमारे आइडियलॉग से जुड़ना चाहते हैं, जो उस पुस्तिका में लिखा हुआ है, उन सारे लोगों का, राजेश भाई जैन जो हमारे राष्ट्रीय कन्वीनर हैं, उनको धन्यवाद, आरती जी और गणेश जी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और पहली बार यहाँ पे इतनी भारी संख्या में स्टूडेंटों के सामने, सारे छात्राओं के सामने मुझे बोलने का अवसर दिया है फ्रेंड्स ऑफ बीजेपी के लिए, इसलिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। Now I'm done with respecting my language, I am done with respecting my culture. Now I have to start respecting actually the world language, which actually the world globalization we are talking about, where India has to make its place and we are going towards it. The pace has to be a bit faster. So I will start my third language as in English. I wrote a lot of points, but when Dr. Swami started talking, I thought of tearing off my 3 first pages out of 5-page speech, because I wanted to talk about how India has arrived, how India is arriving, how it's struggling and conflicting, and how India is confident. How India has arrived, Dr. Swami has put up really simply in front of you as young India. Population is now 7 billion and we are the proud parents. Somewhere in Uttar Pradesh, one mother has given birth to a 7th billion baby. And पूरे उत्तर प्रदेश में मिठाई बांटी गई कि वो किस पार्टी को वोट करेगी और किस धर्म और समुदाय से है या किस कास्ट से है। So population, if we look at, as Dr. Swami said it very correctly, it's like a jwalamukhi. If it erupts, it will destroy everything. If we channelize, we can get something out of it. I still remember when population is spoken, Dr. Swami is already, I'm sorry Dr. Swami, because your speech was the only points I had in my speech. I was telling Shaina, now what will I speak? But this is the main actual reality which we have to talk about. What is the reality? The population. We are a very small country according to, if you look at America, Latin America, if you look at Europe, if you look at Australia, we are that way, geographically a small country with a big population. With that population, we compare ourselves, as Dr. Swami correctly said, which we youth wing people always talk about. The average age of an Indian is 28. I'm 31, so I still feel older now because that's how the population is growing. I do not connect with a 25-year-old in this country. I really have to pace myself at the age of 31 to a 25 or 20-year-old or a 17-year-old. I can't pace up with my son. When Dr. Swami was talking about Ms. Kanimoli, I remember a small topic. My son sat with me and we were watching NDTV and she was arrested. And her son was waiting. And they said she has a 10-year-old son and the court should be a little lenient towards her. My son does not know which party I work for, but he knows I'm in politics, which he barely understands, he's 8. But he looked at TV and he said, Mom, you're also in politics. The same work do you do? Do you do the same work? I said, yes, Peter. That means you'll go in jail? I said, I don't think so, and I don't want to take my power or my concentration towards that. So that's how the politician is being questioned at. But as I come to population, it's not merely a burden. Actually, we can make this as a powerhouse. The powerhouse is sitting right in front of me. The powerhouse, it's in small little villages. But how do we segregate this? The problem with our country is we don't segregate our work. We don't know what to give where and how to take out the actual power from it. Maharashtra, if you look at Northeast, we are very much diverse nation, diverse culture, but we don't know how to use it, We know how to abuse it. Maharashtra असलं तर मराठी बोलायलाच पाहिजे, तमिळनाडूमध्ये असलं तर तमिळ बोललंच पाहिजे. That's it. We don't talk about the youth, though who's a Marathi speaking youth or a Tamil speaking youth or Assami speaking youth. What kind of job he can do? How can he perform? How can he put his power towards the country's growth and how he can take the country forward? So that's how we have to work on. And I always see the country, the young India has arrived. They always call that Asia, we are compared with Asia. The South Asian drama is front of us. But we have a very strong strength with us with this youth. Is democracy. 64 years of freedom. After 2 years, which Dr. Swami also knows, we actually saw Ravan Raj in India. But if you leave those 2 years of emergency, 62 years of freedom. 62 years freedom, and what do we get out of it? We work on population, but out of that freedom, what do you get? We have freedom of speech, where we actually don't perform at the right places. We have freedom to talk, we have freedom to study. But I always feel the divide is not being accepted. Aap gaon mein jaoge, we stay in Mumbai. I have studied, lived my life, born and brought up in Mumbai. But when I go to smaller villages, I think where actually the India lies, as Gandhiji always said, though I do not agree with Gandhiji's every line of action, जैसे एक गाल दो तो दूसरा गाल भी आप दो, बिल्कुल नहीं, एक गाल दिए तो दूसरा हाथ तोड़ दूंगी मैं. Who are you to question me? It's always been the problem with our country and our people. We are always defensive. No, India has too much of population. We always say, no, population, now what to do? I think we should cut down, we should have one-child policy, or we should not have children, we should not work. We do not think that if I have these two children, how do I plan and perform to take this forward? To help the society, to help the country. No, we don't have plans ready. Very few people work on that. I work on my son in that way, and that's actually immense pressure on a child. But no, I do. Because the mistakes I have learned from, you follow the legacy, not of the name, legacy of your parents, of your culture. You want to do better and better. That's how a woman always thinks. I always believe a woman of this country, a woman anywhere, but as our Hindu Sanskriti has always taught us, that a Nari, woman in this country, who's young, who's dynamic, but always stuck down to that in the family matters, she doesn't go out of the house. But what does she do? What she wants, as matter of, Rupa Saraswati, try to teach her family, her children, take it forward, Samaj Sudharak hoke, aage badhana chahti hai. What a woman wants. She, as an Annapurna Devi's avatar, she feeds the good food, she gives that strength to her children and take them forward. And if something, anybody questions her family or her morality or her ethics, she becomes a Durga's avatar. So this is our culture. This is the culture we are living with. This is how we are brought up with. Hinduism, secularism, Sudan. I don't understand the word secularism. What is secular? पंथ निरपेक्षता. पंथ क्या होता है? आप जिस परिवार से पैदा होते हो, सीखते हो, वो संस्कार होता है. As Dr. Swami rightly correctly said, I remember I'm sorry, I'm just going in different because I'm so happy to hear Dr. Swami one-on-one. He spoke about Brahmins. Actually, I'm also a Brahmin, which I discovered because I studied in a Brahmin school, which I did not know. I was in Balmohan Vidya Mandir at Shivaji Park, which is run and always liked by Kokanastha Brahmin. And I was an outcast because I was a Deshastha Brahmin. And I did not know till 8th standard that I'm a Brahmin. Because my father, Janam se Brahman nahi hota, Karam se Brahman hota. This is what we learned in our culture. My father never taught me. Then I still remember when I was in my 8th standard, one of my friends with beautiful blue eyes, they're from Konkan side. She asked me a question. Which Brahmin are you? I said, what? Which caste? You're Brahmin, right? Because you're in Balmohan. I said, Acha, I don't know. I have to ask my mom. 8th standard, a 13-year-old girl. did not know anything. I think I'm proud of my parents teaching me that culture. So she asked me, find out, if you're a Kokanist Brahmin, you're more close to us. There's a divide between Debras and Cobras in Maharashtra. So if you're a Cobra, you're with us. If you're a Debra, you're an outsider. I said, okay. So I went back to my father. I said, now, this is like meri jaan pe aa gayi. I asked my father that, Baba, am I a Brahmin? He said, who told you? Defensive mechanism. Who told you? I said, my friends are asking me. He said, yes, you are. Why? He said, she's asking me if I'm in her caste or an outcast. So he said yes. Then he tried to tell me how Yajurvedas, Rugvedas, which are 8th standard year old, maybe did not understand, or maybe I don't have that capacity to understand. But I understood I'm a Brahmin. So that kind of divide we have in our youth. I always feel the youth of this country, Hinduism is very well appreciated, as Dr. Swami said. You can't just segregate your power as youth, but you cannot cut yourself into thinking of languages, castes, this barrier and that barrier. I do not believe in that. And we should not as young India. That time is gone. So very importantly, this population youth, which I always work on, because as Yuva Morcha, we are working on this, the youth of this country should not erupt like a Jwalamukhi. It should be channelized, and that will be. But how will it be channelized? The youth of this country is living in villages. Farmers, the agriculture. Correctly, Dr. Swami said, I'm again sorry, but Dr. Swami said correctly, that subsidies is like a bheek. How the Yuvraj of Congress was telling people, कि आप भीख का कटोरा लेके आगे जाते हो. But that's the reality. Giving subsidy to your farmers is giving some kind of a bheek. Don't paralyze them, make them powerful. That's how we saw it in Indian regime. We have to make our farmer powerful. You must have read, you all read a lot of newspapers, maybe most of them read Bombay Times, then they take Times of India. It happens with youth of our country. That Aishwarya delivered a baby and then we'll see what the Prime Minister has said about China. But that's a natural thing, even I used to do that, now I can't afford to do that. But that's what is being put up. Have you seen the news of Vidarbha farmers, 22 Vidarbha farmers in last 2 months committed suicide? What are we talking about? And the national, it's not a national crisis, it's a state crisis, boss. You have government in both the states, the state and the nation. How can you just be defensive and don't act on it? So the farmers of this country, 2 to 5 acre land farmers, owners, no collective farming we are working on. But yes, when the sugar factories are suffering in Maharashtra, by all political party leaders, we fight for it. But you're not fighting for your sugar cost because you want to export it. But you're not fighting, you're fighting for a sugar cost which is exporting it. But you're not fighting for your farmer who's giving per ton only 1,000 rupees per ton for a ganna. This is what the mentality we are working on. I'm not going politician bashing because it's not going to help me anyhow, but yes, I do accept it. Third very important thing we saw in Arrived India's IT arrival. I'm really proud to say that my father was the first IT minister of this country. He must have tried his best because I'm not a big judge. Public people who have taken the best out of this. I think 91 the economy is open. But when you see from 99, 96 to 99, I don't want to conflict with Dr. Swami in a lot of telecom issues. But you have seen every youth carrying a mobile. He wants to connect with people. Just now I entered, everybody had their iPad. I did not know what an iPad is. I'm just learning my iPhone. So these are the things which you have to start facing up with. Half of this population is using a mobile. My cook has 2 phones. One for his family, one for me. This is unbelievable. And I still remember in 96 Maha Adhiveshan in BJP, my father was carrying one Motorola. That time he used to get that fat Motorola phone. You must have not even seen it because you're younger to me. He was carrying this fat Motorola phone and he was questioned that my father always said, this will be the dream of this country. And everybody, including his party, questioned him that you're getting the 5-star culture to this country. But I don't think so. Now I can't say Tom, Dick and Harry, but every small person has a mobile phone. He can't live without a mobile phone. His alarm is a mobile phone, his SMS is a his whole life is in that mobile phone. So that's how we have to work on. See the real India. See how we accept it. So that's how we worked and break through. Arrived India, Neo-Rish, young people, YPOs. Mr. Malhotra spoke in YPO. What is YPO? It's a new organization where people who are young Indians and in past 2 decades who started earning good money for their private sector, they have started this YPO, and all young entrepreneurs. They want to do something for this country. This we did not have 20 years back. Actually, we would have had metro, we should have had metro 20 years back, but we still don't have a metro in Mumbai. And we call it as a metro city. So there are a lot of things which we are seeing and conflicting. But it is up to us. We question ourselves what we put forward. That's how it is. Arriving in India, we have a good progress, but a good pace? No. There's a divide between digital divide and poor class and middle class divide. We have more than 400 million people who are middle class. What do they want? They want good education, good politicians, water, roti, kapda, makan. Still, after 62 years, we are still fighting for roti, kapda, makan. That's embarrassing. That's disgusting as a politician. Even I'm talking about it in front of people. But yes, I just don't have to discuss it. I have to work on it with policies, with working factors. The widening divide, when I read about it, there are 32 rupee concept, which is, everybody has read it. The divide between a poor people and middle class come down to only 32 rupees a day. You become a rich man in this country. That's shocking. But with all this arrival, the most important part is our country is rich. My father always said this country, India, is a knowledge-based democracy. We are very brilliant, knowledgeable people. But where that knowledge goes? It goes to America, it goes to Harvard, it goes to Stanford, it goes everywhere, but it does not come here. Why does it happen? Because the opportunity which is given by them as westernized culture, it is not given to our modern India. That opportunity somewhere is lost here. All the IITs, recently I went to America, I met all the venture capitalists, all our IIT Kharagpur, IIT Mumbai, all are from IIT. But they are very much happy with America. Their children are studied, they are doing well. I met many congressmen also. They say, we know this, he's studying here. But the whole concept is, what do you give back? When I was in America, I met the Philadelphia congressman. And I started talking to him. He said, your English is very good. I said, are you comparing me with China? Then of course it is good. He said, no, you're young Indians. He had so much of information about Mumbai, about Maharashtra, about India. Why? Because when you see from out, they have all eyes on us. And we see ourselves always with sarcasm. I still remember we had this conference on NGOs. Our RSS head, Mohan Bhagwat, had come. And when we were having tea, he was asking me, so the problem is with Yuva, Morcha and youth of this country, there is no activism. I was a little rude because I respect him a lot. But I said, sir, can I be straight? He said, yes. I said, the problem with activism is there is no leader to look at who can take us forward. That's why we have a lot of sarcasm. Arey kya Poonam Mahajan, bolegi do, karegi thodi. Maybe 50% of people might be thinking that way. But that's how sarcasm we are creating inside. We are not positive, we are not confident. Dr. Swami again said the right thing, that we are not confident. We are always in the defensive mode, we are not in the offensive mode. Question, if someone is questioning, counter question. I do that and I try my best to do that. But in politics it becomes difficult because there are many questions and very less answers. So, but that's how it is. But the problem is education. IITs are there, but do you know there is no basic education? There is no basic education. School dropout rates are increasing day by day. Everywhere, poor farmers are not getting anything. The infrastructure, we talk about IT industry. We have huge IT parks. Do we have a road to go towards that? No. Khadde mein 20 minutes chale jate hain. Then if you question BMC, it's with MSRDC. If you question MSRDC, it's with, I'm just finishing in 2 minutes, it's with MMRDA. I mean, who does play the ball? I mean, I don't understand that kind of questions coming in front of people. So infrastructure is more important part. Most disturbing and conflicting part of this thing is we should believe in democracy. As Hinduism tells us, Bharat apni maa hai. We respect our motherland. We respect, we call environment Vasudeva Kutumbakam. We always, किसी भी चीज को आंखें उठ के नमन करना हो तो we always say it's like my motherly figure. So when Anna Hazare came up and spoke against corruption, he was only saying one thing: Bharat Mata ki Jai. But that Bharat Mata ki Jai was what? We are respecting our motherland. That's what nationalism is all about. And that's how Hindu thought process has put it forward. There's nothing more than that. At the end, I think my time is up, and as thank you. As being a politician, the mic and my politician's relation is lovely relation. And when you talk about talk in 20 minutes, it goes to 40 minutes. That kind of relation we have. But at the end, I just want to say, after freedom, 3 points I want to put across and think about it. One, ideologue, which this country always takes it forward. After freedom, Congress came with an ideologue of freedom. Congress's ideology was fighting for freedom. All the freedom fighters were there and they fought for freedom, but they did not have any ideologue how to take the country forward. There was a second point, was leftist. The ideologue came from up above our head, which was not even our ideology. This is what I feel, sir. Came all the way to this country. They had some kind of ideologue. They started going with this. Then they started Maoism, Marxism. They worked on it. And at the end, it is just a matter of giving money to poor people and give them guns and ammunition and just control the government. That is the ideologue which came. And the third most important ideologue, which was always based on nationalism, was from Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. Why I'm saying all these three ideologues? All these three ideologues had their own governments and their performances. And you have seen those performances. RSS's ideologue, BJP's government performances always talk about nations, nationalism, and they talk about development. And I think you have seen in many states of India, when the BJP-led NDA government comes, they talk about development. They show you development. That's what the ideologue we have to work on. Be proud of being Hindu, absolutely good. Be proud of being Bharat Mata's son. And be proud to follow your ideologue. I'm not questioning yours, but believe that this country is going to go forward. Have that confidence in you. Struggling, conflicting matters always come, but the confidence always takes you forward. That's what my father told me. So I have that confidence. I hope you also too have that confidence. I put this across to you, and I think my time is also up. I thank all of you very, very much on the Wellington Institute. And thank you to someone who cut my speech into half, but I like the straightforwardness and that optimism with our country. Thank you very, very much. Bharat Mata ki. One day.